Board meeting Wednesday, July 25th, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tony, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bova.
Here.
Mrs. Cerrucci. Here. Mr. Gottman.
Here.
Mr. Lapsevich.
Here.
Mr. McIntyre. Mr. Ritter.
Here.
Mrs. Warning. Mr. Williams.
Here. Comments from residents on agenda item. Anybody wish to address the school board at this time on agenda items? Bonnie, we have anybody signed up?
No one signed up.
Section D, personnel agenda. Mr. Crump.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors accepts and approves the personnel items agenda 1 through 6 as listed in section D for the special board meeting of Wednesday, July 25th, 2018. Under resignations, we have 4 names listed. Mr. Narsborough, the assistant principal at high school, submitted his resignation on June 27th. He will be with the district through the end of August. Under leave of absence, we have 3 names submitted. Transfer, per the collective bargaining agreement, you will see 6 names notated. Under employment, to approve employment of the following: high school principal, Justin Stevens, at the salary of $119, who will be replacing Mr. Murphy. We also have listed 2 school police officers who will be starting for the beginning of the school year. Furlough recall, we have 7 names of our teachers who we furloughed in June who will be recalled back into positions within the district and will start at the beginning of the year. Supplemental contracts, we have all the fall contracts listed for approval. And under B, approve the addition of a cross-country assistant coaching position at a stipend of $1,257. The last item we have is a resolution for the Gateway School District authorizing the issue of an official statement of charges and placing employee number 1085 on unpaid leave pending possible termination. Whereas the superintendent, along with additional administrators, has conducted an investigation of employee number 1085 and has presented sufficient evidence to support their belief to place employee number 1085 on unpaid leave pending possible termination. Whereas the Board of School Directors desires the superintendent and/or his designee to prepare and notify employee number 1085 of an official statement of charges which shall be served in accordance with the Pennsylvania School Code. Now therefore be it resolved that the Gateway School District hereby resolves the following. The superintendent and his designee shall prepare and serve an official statement of charges to employee number 1085. The statement of charges shall indicate, among other things, that employee number 105 will be placed on unpaid leave pending possible termination, and the Board of School Directors will have a hearing and then vote on the 14th day of August 2018 to determine if employee number 1085 shall be terminated.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McIntyre, second by Mr. Lapsevich. Questions or comments?
I have, I think 2 questions. One, for the supplemental contracts, the caret next to several names, does that mean have any importance?
It indicates it's their first year in the position.
Okay. And my next question, which I think might just cover everything for tonight, this is to be the first board meeting that the new voting policy takes place, where if it's a first-time item that we see, it requires superintendent.
That's currently on 30-day display. We have to vote that into policy.
It's on 30-day?
Yes.
Is that right?
I thought that was,
I believe we voted that on 30-day display last, or no, wait, you're talking about, okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
the-
sorry.
yeah.
No, you're right.
so I'm right, we get to, okay.
Ask
Yes,
Bob.
no, you're right.
Yeah. Is that?
Trying to think back to June now.
That was in reference to expenditures.
Right.
Expenditures.
Correct.
And there are no expenditures on tonight's agenda.
Yes, there
Okay.
are, for
Yeah.
the supplemental,
Supplemental.
and obviously the
We can move
principal.
that, table that and move it to
Unless
Bob.
Justin's coming for free.
Well, no, I think we can, to get this just straight from my understanding, it could be voted tonight, it requires supermajority.
Correct.
Right. And that covers both the hiring of the principal, the
Yeah.
expenditures in section F?
Yes.
Okay. So if we want, we could table it, or if we have 6
We're not
votes, we can vote
tabling it.
tonight.
No, we can't
But I'm just
table
saying,
But if we were worried that we weren't going to get a unanimous vote, it might be worthwhile to separate the items that wouldn't fall under that and the items that would. But I think we're set.
Okay, that's all.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Bond, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mrs. Cerucci?
Aye.
Mr. Gottman?
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich?
I don't understand what you're voting on.
All the personnel agenda new
How's
hires.
the one you did? Okay, yeah, yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Aye.
Mr. Ritter?
Aye.
Mrs. Warning?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Bova?
Aye. Motion carries. Section F, administrative report.
I think Trish is done.
We were going to introduce our new principal.
Oh, okay.
We'll let Dr. Short do that one.
It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Justin Stevens to our Gateway community. Justin has been previously serving as the head principal at Plum Senior High School and is a Gateway graduate and is excited to return to our community. And we are excited to have him on board as Gateway High School's new principal. So it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Justin Stevens. We have an official presentation.
On behalf of the athletic committee and Gateway School District, your new colors, that black and is gold, thank you, and
We are currently in communication with the Plum Borough School District Superintendent to determine the release date for Justin, and also to let the public know that Mr. Murphy will be completing his final day here at the Gateway School District tomorrow. So Justin, look forward to working with you and excited to have you on board. Okay.
And well wishes to Adam and Pete. And their careers, of course.
Okay.
Section F, administrative, Mr. Short, Dr. Short.
Section F, administrative action agendas. I'm going to defer to item number 1. Dr. Rossi, you want to take that one and then...
Accept an agreement with Grove Pittsburgh Education Committee to design, construct, and install the learning garden at Ramsey Elementary School. This is similar to the one we did last year.
Very cool.
And Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Item number 2 is to approve the award of the paving bid for the Gateway Campus Boulevard paving and repair project to the contractor to be determined, and the total accepted bid amount of the amount to be determined comprised of a base bid and applicable bid alternates accepted as a lowest responsible bidder to meet all the district's required bid specifications to be paid from the district's capital reserve fund budget during the 2018-2019 fiscal year. The above bid for the paving repair project will be opened by the district on Thursday, August 2nd. The board will be notified of the lowest responsible bidder meeting all the district's required bid specifications. The base bid amount and the applicable bid alternate amount or amounts to be accepted is determined by the district's administration. This bid pre-approval is necessary for the repair work to be completed prior to the start of the new school year. Item number 3, approve the purchase of wall covering material to cover the front of the Gateway High School Stadium bleacher retaining wall from Lezer Lumber in the total amount of $19,251.08 to be paid from the district's capital reserve fund budget during the 2018-19 fiscal year. Note, the above wall covering material will be installed by the district's maintenance department at a substantial savings to the district. This new wall covering material alternative is in lieu of accepting the previously bid specified alternative wall covering solution originally requested by the district and provided as a bid alternate in the amount of $238,970, not accepted from the current contractor who's completing the required stadium wall repairs at the Gateway High School Stadium. Item number 4, approve the repair of the existing Gateway High School Stadium scoreboard as budgeted for in the capital reserve fund budget and a projected total amount of $13,027 from OES Inc. through the CoStar's signature contract available through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of General Services to be installed and completed during the 18-19 fiscal year as depicted in Exhibit A. The above capital repair improvement project will need to be completed and working properly prior to the beginning of the scheduled sports competitions in the Gateway High School Stadium. And finally, item number 5 is the exoneration of district real estate tax collectors for the 17-18 fiscal year. Specifically, Patrick Fulkerson, real estate tax collector for the Gateway School District. Real estate taxes is paid over, accounted for, and otherwise settled. Real estate taxes paid to him since July 1st, 2017. His capacity as real estate tax collector for the municipality of Monroeville. Approve the exoneration of Patrick Fulkerson for uncollected real estate taxes in the amount of $888,280.89 for the period July 1st, 2017 through June 30, 2018, and uncollected for real estate taxes for duplicates for prior periods hereto delivered to him for collection. Secondly, for the Borough of Pitcairn, Sally DeRobia, real estate tax collector for the Gateway School District, real estate taxes as paid over, accounted for, and otherwise settled real estate taxes paid to her since July 1st, 2017. Her capacity as real estate tax collector for the Borough of Pitcairn. Approve the exoneration of Sally DeRobia for uncollected real estate taxes in the amount of $135,663.78 for the period July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018, and uncollected real estate taxes for duplicates for prior periods hereto delivered to her for collection. Note the total above amount of uncollected 2017-18 real estate taxes for both the municipality of Monroeville and the Borough of Pitcairn equals $1,023,944.67. These delinquent real estate taxes will be turned over to the law offices of Weiss, Burkhart, Kramer to be collected for the district.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Warning, second by Mr. McIntyre. Questions, comments on section F?
Yes. I'm curious how this wall covering went from $250,000 down to $20,000.
I think Mr. Brown has a sample to show us. That was a great lead-in, Mr.
And
McIntyre.
understand when we spec'd the wall covering below the stadium bleacher area, we had asked for you want to call it a concrete block masonry fixture. Several times throughout the last 5 to 7 years, we've been painting it to kind of cover it up. The bid, because it was an alternative bid, came in at that $230,000, which we automatically rejected. Through our research, we were able to find a product that really is kind of like a faux stone product that came in at this cost, and it's innovative, it's creative, and we thought that that would fix the problem of constantly painting and repairing that wall. Mr. Brown has a sample for us.
Is it Flex Seal?
It's not flexible.
It's very nice. Rhino seat.
Yeah, that was good.
Bob, is this the color?
This is paint color. This is the product that Dr. Short actually located. I looked into, found it. The style and color after getting the samples is what Dr. Short preferred. We all kind of agreed it matched our look.
Stadium bleachers and
It is a highly dense foam product. It's for a facade, not structural, in front of the bleacher areas only. So this would be attached. It's obviously much more economical than a masonry product that was to be installed through a contractor at prevailing wages. We were able to find this, bid it out to 3 competitive bidders. Mr. Schott has them all. Lezer was the lowest. The product is very simple, and our own people can install it. So obviously, we can't stop everything and just to put this product on the wall, but we can do it in time and, get it done at 0 cost to the district.
it's very similar.
So if you guys want to take a
To
look at it.
vinyl siding
leave it up
on a
here, you
house.
can Take a look.
What was the original? It was going to be, instead of
was-
faux, it's going to be like a real finish.
It is like a
It
concrete.
was a masonry product with a porcelain style finish, like similar to ceramic tile.
I got you.
And with that cost and paying prevailing wage for tile setters to lay it on, it just got way out of line.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is.
That answers, because I was
Okay.
wondering how we went from wow to.
Oh, yeah, well, we were kind of surprised at this cost once it
Right.
all came in. so.
And we automatically rejected the alternative pit that came in at that cost because it was ridiculous to do that. And then we just started brainstorming together within one of our admin meetings about a possible solution. Instead of, when you look at that wall, it's a pre-existing 60-year-old wall that has multiple cracks and It's been fixed to the
blemishes.
point, but we paint it every 3 to 4 years. A lot of time, cost with that.
Also,
so-
by doing this, that we got this number today, we save a few dollars more on the painting that would have happened for that area. So the cost actually goes down by about another $2,400.
Okay.
Just show them how it walks into.
Yeah,
It's just.
now this is just one of the other samples that once this is fastened, this next one interlocks to it. Similar to siding, that, you know, that's how it all works. It's screwed to the wall along with adhesive. It's fire retardant. If somebody would happen to damage something, it's easily taken care of.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, I should know this question, but I don't. What size is that coming?
The panels, these are, I think they're 19 by 48 inch panels.
Okay.
They vary based on the
Yeah.
stone
I
patterns.
just want to know.
Very similar to, in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Well, how well do they hold up to scrubbing? In other words, if somebody would accidentally paint on them with,
I was putting them through some tests, just beating on them.
but you have to. of
There is
course.
touch-up for them as well, because nothing is not going to be
Damaged
untouched
overall,
forever.
sure.
So we are able to actually do anything like that very easily, just because of the density of the foam.
That's clever, thank you.
Now, how long have these panels been around? Like, my concern
I've
is,
seen these
if we buy this now and 2 years from now, we damage, for whatever reason, 6 panels, are we gonna be able to buy the replacement panels 5 or 6
At
years?
this point, I would expect so. They've been around, there's always new products coming out on the market. I've seen these out there in different places for about 6 years. I can't tell you how long they're gonna stay on the market, unfortunately.
Should we maybe consider buying
We
X amount
we
of?
will have extra boxes
You
on
know
the
what,
shelf.
Mr. Brown, if we get the extras, can we keep them at my house?
I need some measurements and a drawing.
Mr. Bova, so, they can
25
get
feet.
weathered a little bit, to
Now,
match
we
the
want
wall.
the
They'll match the wall.
Put me down for that, I'll help you
Okay.
store those.
All right, you got storage unit.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
I got 2 questions. One, because I'm always wary about foam, whether it's shoes or anything else. How well does it hold up to the elements?
Well, that's what it's made for.
Yeah.
This product is UV resistant, it's made to be outside. It's not an interior product, so, that's.
It's an alternative to the traditional vinyl siding that you would see on the side of the house. They just manufactured it into like a stone.
And an alternative to the cultured stones that you see quite a bit nowadays, which do fall apart. They erode actually in time. So unfortunately, it doesn't last forever.
George,
Yeah.
Mr. Lapsovich, had a question.
Still was one more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wait, George, I got one last question.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. John may have asked this, but so with parents coming with strollers, people with purses, bags, they'll be hitting up against that. And you did the test. Like, how easily can those be damaged?
It's pretty dense. If you have something sharp, you can scratch it, but I couldn't break it.
Do you want to pass one of those around to the board so
Yeah.
they can feel it?
They,
Bang
they are
That's
dense.
too deep there over your head.
If you look at the back side of it, Mr. Gottman, you'll see areas that also touch the surface. The installation process would be screws at the top into the concrete and adhesive on each one of those surfaces. So it makes it much more dense.
Okay.
Rob, can you get on the microphone so people at home can hear us?
Mr. Brown,
No impact on it?
another question, which is, what's the guarantee on these? I mean, how many years? Warranty, I mean.
Well, there's a warranty, there won't be any warranty on labor since it'll be our own.
Okay.
And the products, they come out with I gotta really relook at it. I looked at so many, but I believe it was 5 years.
Okay, see if we can take an extended warranty on it.
I will ask, I don't know that that's a possibility on a product that they're not installing.
Bob, I'm sure that you're going to coordinate with the athletic director, and he'll let some of the teams know that, the cement wall is no longer going to be there. Some of the athletes use that wall to throw a softball to increase their throwing arm for certain sports. I've seen it on the track team.
Okay, well, we
So
will make
can't
sure
do
all
that.
of the coaches are
Are
aware.
yeah.
And the coaches work very well with us.
Good.
We got a good bunch of coaches out there.
Yep.
I think the wall you're referring to, Mr. Ritter, is by the ramp.
Exactly.
That's
That
not-
wall will not have this product.
This is just in front of the bleachers.
Underneath the bleacher part where we have the small walkway with the fence.
Okay, that's different. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I got one last question. All right, so for number 2, for Paul, seeing as we have no dollar figure to this, and I imagine we've had payment things done before, and I'm just don't like buying things without knowing how much it costs.
We're not, yeah,
I just not.
let's approve it to put it out to bid.
Yeah, we're just
When
trying
we get
to-
the lowest responsible bidder, it'll come back to us to vote on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was to start the project.
It's just to start the bid.
Oh, then I don't have a question.
Never mind. All right.
Dr. Rossi, where will the garden go over at Ramsey?
Behind where the faculty room is, it'll be out that way in the back. There's a cement pad. It'll be in the back.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Gottman,
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich,
Yes, definitely.
Mr. McIntyre,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye.
Mrs. Warning, Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Bova,
Aye.
Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section G, board member resolutions.
Yes. I would like to, at this time, an action item, to rescind the resolution previously adopted July 11th, 2012. And that would be effective December 31st, 2012. The part-time athletic director and/or other administrators will be prohibited from holding supplemental contracts with the district. And I am asking to rescind that resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Sorry, George. George can have that one.
No, you can have it.
Let's not fight that, we got it.
Motion by Val, second by Mr.
George
McIntyre. Questions or comments
I have a question.
on the resolution?
Why the resolution?
Mrs. Crump, do you want to take it or I can take it?
Why the resolution, or why was it originally? I can't
Both.
speak to that. The resolution for this evening is, we do not have a coach for a sport. We have an administrator who is willing to take that on. However, in the policy, it states that an administrator, and also in Act 93, it states that an administrator may not accept a paid position as a supplemental.
Mr. Ritter, in years past, this has gone back and forth, and I think it's coming back to the board this time, just because it's hard to find coaches, and if we can open it up that administrators can coach again. then-
Because some administrators are ex-coaches. I mean,
Right.
they're the right person for the
And if
job.
you look district by district, there's a lot of head football coaches that are also athletic directors. It's a pretty common practice.
We're talking
That's not
This
what we're
is doing
talking
what
about, just for
principals.
clarity.
And probably the original reason that it was adopted was due to the conflict, because some of your sports are right after school,
Right.
when they would technically be working their full-time job.
Boy, that is a conflict, because you have to have them doing their full-time administrative job, and if they're a coach, they have to be on the field watching the
Absolutely,
students.
and that's
So
something that.
how do we approach this?
We would talk internally about that, this would be under an emergency situation, where if we don't have a candidate or someone willing to coach and step up and help our students, if we have an administrator that's willing to do so in the interim basis until we find someone, it's really helping children at this point.
Plus, the board would still have to vote on it, John.
Correct.
You still have to vote on that specific coaching position and hire.
All right, so let's go back to Scotty's proposition here, that it's been back and forth a few times. In order to make it easier for future boards to not have to ping pong back and forth about that, is there a way that we can repair this right now, that it would be future-proof, perhaps by adding a clause that says any,
No, that's not a good
Any
idea.
board
can change it.
It's a policy,
Any
they
board
can
can
change
write
it
whatever policy
anytime.
they want.
But it's getting to the point where it's getting harder to find individuals to coach, let alone individuals that are employed at the school and with the kids all the time. So to me, it's a win-win because the kids already would know the coach.
That's a good argument. I like that.
And Mr. Ritter, also too, if, say, they start playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the administrator has to work till 3:30, they could either change the date or the administrator could come in a half hour earlier and make up the time.
Or the assistant could cover until the
Yeah.
coach gets here.
That's probably my sister. Nope. Okay, so I'm in agreement with this. I like this approach. Thank
Any
you.
other questions or comments? Bonnie, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Lapsevich,
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre,
Aye.
Mr. Ritter,
Aye?
Mrs. Warning,
Aye.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Bova,
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci,
Aye.
Mr. Gottman.
No.
Motion carries. Is there any other board resolutions?
Yes, I would also like to put on the agenda for our August 12th meeting to suspend Administrative Regulation 122.1 and follow the PIAA eligibility rules. And that would be to approve to suspend the administrative regulation for athletic and extracurricular activities. Doing this because Gateway School District would follow the PIAA eligibility rules to align with the other surrounding areas and districts, the other surrounding districts. And this would give more students the opportunity to participate in activities that can have a dramatic positive effect on their education and provide the necessary motivation and structure many struggle to find. So I would ask Bonnie to put that on the,
Are you asking for that for this evening?
pardon me?
Just to put on the
Just to
agenda.
put on the
For
agenda.
next month?
Correct.
Got it.
Anything else from board members? Is
You
there any
mean board
comments?
reports?
No, board reports. Comments from residents this evening?
How do you get around Act 93?
Fortunately, Act 93 right now has expired, and we're currently working on that. So with this motion, we would take that out of the Act 93 agreement going forward.
Okay, so you specifically do Act 93, but do you have any guidelines you have to follow from the state that tells you how to do Act 93?
No,
Or is that done individually by district?
each individual district creates their own Act 93 agreement. It's actually a compensation and benefit plan.
Okay, because I know there's certain provisions for certain things. I didn't know if that was something that was stipulated someplace else when you said Act 93. So you would just amend that?
Correct. When we approve the new one going forward, that would not be in there.
Okay, thank you. The only thing I'm concerned about is, in an administrative position, someone has to give oversight to the people underneath them, like coaches. So you just don't want a conflict where the person who's an administrator is also a coach, because someone, that's like oversight on yourself. So I was just curious how you would do that. So those are some things I personally, if I was saying, I would have talked about, but thank you for clarification on the Act 93.
Anybody else at this time wish to address the board? Seeing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
I have a couple questions first. How are the visitations going to try to encourage people to come to the school? The staff wanted to go out and knock on some doors and encourage some students to reconsider coming to the Gateway School District. How's that effort going?
We're actually starting that in the beginning of August due to the fact that school will be beginning in like 4 weeks. So we don't want to hit them too early so that nobody's thinking about it. We wanted to get them at least 3-4 weeks prior.
All right. Number two, we haven't had the local cable access running for the last, I would say, week. It probably might be good to go ahead, as you're knocking on doors, to refer people to the local cable access station so that they could see the graduation, maybe a musical, maybe a board meeting, so that could help people understand who Gateway is, how we do our business, whether we have sports teams here, what the stadium looks like, what the kids do each day, whether there's been an update to the cafeteria area, on and on and on.
Right now.
So in other words, let's go ahead and use that as a marketing tool so that when you hand out your card and say, consider Gateway, you can say, go onto your TV and take a close look at what the experience of Gateway is. It's an easy marketing outreach.
I'm just thinking perhaps I could have a iPad with someone that they can actually pull up and start hitting videos.
Yeah, that would be nice. And so,
good.
you know, if someone has talent and can put together maybe a 5 or 10-minute video, that could be a recruiting avenue. Put some board blunders on there. I mean, we make,
Mike, are you listening? I'm just joking.
okay, and the
You listen
last
out.
one is,
On cue.
I will speak
we're
on
just-
Michael's behalf. He's a little busy right now, so after
so I
school
have
starts.
a lot of ideas. So Michael, you and I can meet. And the last one is there seems to be a little confusion about what constitutes the rules for declaring a committee meeting. So if the policy committee could take another look at that, you know, there's a little confusion there. Let's go ahead and clean that up. That should be an easy lift. Okay?
Can I interrupt here real quick? Or
It's not interested, say something.
are you finished?
I think, yeah, I'm finished.
Bonnie and I had discussed this today, and she had pulled the policies from PSBA, and we had looked in what Gateway has as their policy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bonnie, but board and study session meetings have to have 3-day notice, correct?
It does
Which
state
falls
that.
into the definition of a regular meeting.
Regular meeting.
I agree.
And committee meetings, at the beginning of the school year, she has every date listed. And in case there's a meeting that comes up of any type of meetings, which would be considered any policy, building and grounds, athletic, any kind of committee meetings. And that gives you the 24-hour notice. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, it's already pre-published in the newspaper. Once a year, we do a big publication so that we're covered for every month of the year.
And it's been updated twice since. And on both of those updates that have been published recently, on April 26th and January 16th, and once again in May, yesterday's meeting date was not included in
It's not
that
on that
pre-published
date.
list. So still, it would be sort of
Okay.
an ad hoc informational session that was not
Okay.
pre-declared. So I'm just saying, it's worth
Okay.
another look.
John, I agree, we've talked about this, I agree with this. I'd like to maybe get together with you and discuss some just clarifying words that we can add to the current policies.
And some of the other surrounding school districts, they have language awfully similar to ours, but with a few nuances, so maybe we can glean
So we
from
can
them
add
as
that
well.
language into our policy and follow
Thank
that.
you.
That would be good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Sean.
Georgie?
Yeah, Mr. President. I don't know, Mr. Dice. We had a citizen in the audience last month telling us about some concerns about having live TV in here again. You know, they were looking forward to it, and I thought we're doing some stuff behind closed doors and edit it the next day and all that. I mean, taking stuff off. What do I have to do to get it on the agenda next month for a vote to get live
Broadcast
TV
live.
back on?
I think you merely have to make the motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to get live TV put back on.
What I think should happen here, okay, you should direct the superintendent to put it on the agenda for a vote next month.
Dr. Shu, would you put it in agenda for next month?
I will.
Thank you.
Bill?
Nothing else.
Oh, one more thing. Mr. Dice, isn't it true that the Plum School Board has recently done something regarding a police force?
Yes.
What was that?
Unanimously, they passed a police force last night that will pretty much parrot, or not parrot, but take on many of the characteristics of the Gateway School District's police force. And I think they're excited about it.
Have we been getting calls from around the state on?
As I said, I forgot, that was an executive, well, that was in a committee meeting. I get a call probably once a month from some school solicitor throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania asking about what the process is. And I would suggest that your two police superintendents get calls from various police departments, various school districts every month.
So kudos to
So it's
Tim
really,
and
it's
Brian.
really catching on. I think that's the term, yeah. It's going viral.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No?
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
Good. We're at. Yeah.